So with the hamstring strain, I think with all muscle strains, to be honest, you've got the very similar things that you're going to be doing to try and prevent them. But I think specifically with the hamstring strain, first of all, you've got to be warmed up. So whatever activity you're going to do, and everyone talks about it, you've got to be warmed up. So you've got to gradually get blood pumping into the hamstring muscle to get it ready to activity. And then at the same time, you've got to get the length of that muscle going so that it can cope with if you're having to do a stretch in a certain way. So with the warm up, you're doing your stretch, you're doing your little bit of work to get the blood going, you're doing your stretching, which is really important, both static and dynamic. There's all this big debate that goes on at the time about which is better and which is worse and which is linked to injury. But I think, for me, I think I would do both forms. So your static stretching is where obviously you'd stretch the muscle and hold it for maybe 10 or 15 seconds. If you're trying to get more flexibility, i.e. you're trying to make that muscle longer over a period of time, then what you're going to do is work it for more 30, 35, 40 seconds. But if you're just doing it for a warm-up for a training session, then you're doing it 10, 15 seconds. And you maybe do 3 stretches of your hamstring. Now for me, you have to do both parts of the hamstring. So you're looking at stretching the upper end of the hamstring, and you're looking at stretching the lower end near the knee. So with one of them, in terms of doing the upper end, you're going to have to bend your knee and get the flexibility so that it puts more strain at the top. When you're doing the area around by your knee, you keep your knee straight, and therefore you'll get more of a stretch and you'll feel it down towards your knee. So that's very important from my point of view. I think if you've got the ability to have massage, fantastic, because I think if you have massage before you go and have do any kind of training, you can get the muscle, both you get blood pumping into the muscle, but also you'll get the muscle becoming quite pliable, which is good. And that's what you want to do to try and prevent injury. And also you can then have it after a training session in terms of massage, just to try and get rid of all the byproducts that you get from training and all the things that you don't want, the waste products, and get them out of the system as quick as you can, especially if you're then go and do an activity the next day or 2 days later. That's when you would tend to get your injury. Because it hasn't fully recovered. So that's what I would do. You also need to do strength. So for me, the main exercise and the main one that's got any kind of evidence base behind it is doing a Nordic curl, which is where you're getting somebody to hold your feet and you're lowering yourself down, and it's an eccentric exercise. So basically the muscle's getting longer as you're working the muscle. Eventually, if you get good at it, you've got to go the other way as well. But that takes a lot of work. But that's, for me, is the hamstring strength. So I think you've got to do that. And then I think on top of that, there's lots of other things, keeping your back mobility going, doing back stretches, because your back will have quite an influence on your hamstrings as well. And making sure that your lower end of your back, you stretch off before you do any kind of activity.